Sup? Welcome to the Tedeschi Trucks Podcast. This is episode number 15, and I am Adam Choate. For now, to follow this show, it's at Tedeschi Trucks Podcast on Instagram, and I'm at Adam Choate on Instagram as well if you want to follow me. And of course, I have no affiliation with the band. This is not an official podcast or anything. I'm just a fan. And if you're listening to this, I'm guessing there's a good chance you might be too. And just a heads up, this is going to be a solo episode. Probably will be on the shorter side, but we'll see how I do. You probably don't want to listen to me ramble for too long. But I was kicking around ideas, and I have my brainstorming Google Doc or whatever, and I've been kicking around an idea about a show I went to in 2016 at the Grammy Museum. Well, I'll tell you more about it in a second, but basically this is about a B.B. King tribute show. After he had passed, and Derek and Susan and others were there. So today's episode will be all about that and my experience going to that show. B.B. King was awesome. I mean, I don't know how else to put it. Amazing guitar player, amazing singer, songwriter, band leader, I guess, and everything. Like, everything that guy did was awesome. A legend for I don't know how many decades. But what I'm going to do momentarily is just give everyone out there a little background about B.B. King. Many of you probably already will know a lot of what I'm about to share, or forgotten and might be refreshed. But today's episode will be all about the show that I went to, for sure. So the Grammy Foundation and Grammy Museum present Icon, The Life and Legacy of B.B. King. That was the name of the show. But B.B. himself just had, of course, his unique vibrato and his stage presence was quite something as well. And even when he was when he was older and he would sit during the show, he still had a pretty amazing presence. He was an innovator as well in so many ways. Just the way he played guitar and sang. And it had a great voice, powerful voice. I think people forget that even sometimes about B.B. Well, I'm going to read a bio from B.B. King's website, and what's interesting about this, it looks like it hasn't been updated, actually, since he passed, and it's a bio when he was 76, but it's still quite relevant. But I'm just going to read this from the website, because it's great information and great stuff. His reign as king of the blues has been as long as that of any monarch on earth. Yet B.B. King continues to wear his crown well. At age 76, he is still light on his feet, singing and playing the blues with relentless passion. Time has no apparent effect on B.B., other than to make him more popular, more cherished, more relevant than ever. Don't look for him in some kind of semi-retirement. Look for him out on the road, playing for people, popping up in a myriad of TV commercials, or laying down tracks for his next album. B.B. King is as alive as the music he plays, and a grateful world can't get enough of him. For more than a half a century, Riley B. King, better known as B.B. King, has defined the blues for a worldwide audience. Since he started recording in the 1940s, he has released over 50 albums, many of them classics. He was born on September 16th, 1925, on a plantation in Itta Bena, Mississippi, near Indianola. I hope I'm saying all those things right. In his youth, he played on street corners for dimes and would sometimes play in as many as 4 towns a night. In 1947, he hitchhiked to Memphis, Tennessee, to pursue his music career. Memphis was where every musician of the South gravitated, and which supported a large musical community where every style of African-American music could be found. B.B. stayed with his cousin Bucka White, one of the most celebrated blues performers of his time, who schooled B.B. further in the art of the blues. BB's first big break came in 1948 when he performed on the Sonny Boy Williamson radio program on KWEM out of West Memphis. This led to steady engagements at the 16th Avenue Grill in West Memphis, and later to a 10-minute spot on the black-staffed and managed Memphis radio station WDIA. King's spot became so popular, it was expanded and became the Sepia Swing Club, rather. Soon BB needed a catchy name, which started out as Beale Street Blues Boy, which was shortened to Blues Boy King and eventually BB King. In the mid-1950s, while BB was performing at a dance in Twist, Arkansas, a few fans became unruly. Two men got into a fight and knocked over a kerosene stove, setting fire to the hall. BB raced outdoors to safety with everyone else, and then realized he left his beloved $30 acoustic guitar inside. So he rushed back inside the burning building to retrieve it, narrowly escaping death. When he found out later that the fight had been over a woman named Lucille, he decided to give the name to his guitar to remind him never to do a crazy thing like fight over a woman. Ever since, each one of BB's trademark Gibson guitars has been called Lucille. Soon after his number one hit, 3 O'Clock Blues, BB began touring nationally. In 1956, BB and his band played an astonishing 342 one-night stands. From the Chitlin circuit with its small-town cafes, juke joints, and country dance halls to rock palaces, symphony concert halls, universities, resort hotels, amphitheaters, nationally, internationally, BB has become the most renowned blues musician of the last 40 years. Over the years, BB has developed one of the world's most identifiable guitar styles. He borrowed from Blind Lemon Jefferson, T-Bone Walker, and others, integrating his precise and complex vocal-like string bends and his left-hand vibrato, both of which have become indispensable components of the rock guitarist's vocabulary. His economy, his every note counts phrasing has been a model for thousands of guitar players, from Eric Clapton to George Harrison to Jeff Beck. BB has mixed traditional blues, jazz, swing, mainstream pop, and jump into a unique sound. In BB's words, when I sing, I play in my mind. The minute I stop singing orally, I start singing by playing Lucille. In 1968, BB played at the Newport Folk Festival and at Bill Graham's Fillmore West, on bills with the hottest contemporary rock artists of the day who idolized BB and helped introduce him to a young white audience. In 1969, BB was chosen by the Rolling Stones to open 18 American concerts for them. Ike and Tina Turner also played on 18 shows. BB was inducted into the Blues Foundation Hall of Fame in 1984 and into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1987. He received the Lifetime Achievement Grammy Award in 1987. He received a lot of other awards. I'm not going to say all of them, but wow, just impressive things. In 1991, BB King's Blues Club opened on Beale Street in Memphis, and in 1994, a second club launched at Universal City Walk in Los Angeles. A third club in New York City's Times Square opened in 2000. I don't know if all these clubs are still around, but his reach was just vast. Was just huge, for sure. BB continued to tour extensively, averaging 250 concerts per year around the world, playing classics such as Paying the Cost to Be the Boss, The Thrill Is Gone, How Blue Can You Get, Every Day Have the Blues, Why I Sing the Blues, and many more, for sure. And I was lucky enough to have gotten to see BB King play live at the Hollywood Bowl. He did a show with Buddy Guy probably a decade and a half ago or so. I forget what year that was, but that was cool. And of course it was cool. It was fucking amazing. And then he played with TTB. It was the show where John Mayer came out for the encore, and it was BB and Susan and Derek, and it was that show at the Hollywood Bowl as well, and that was amazing and had amazing moments as well. But in terms of the the tribute concert, the Grammy BB King tribute concert. This was in September of 2016. I think it was September 1st. I'm going to read another article that kind of recapped that show itself, but I think it was September of 2016. And I think I saw TTB, or I had tickets for TTB in LA and San Diego that year, or definitely LA and one other place. I forget if it was Santa Barbara or San Diego that summer. But somehow I was not aware that there was this BB King tribute show happening at the Grammy Museum or whatever that venue was in Beverly Hills in LA, while Tedeschi Trucks was on the West Coast. With Susan and Derek and a bunch of other guitar players and others performing and paying tribute to BB King. This is after his death, of course. But I caught wind of this, and it was sold out, and I wanted to go. So I kept emailing with someone who worked for the venue or whoever was promoting this event at the time. Let me know if there's any. I don't even remember how I got this person's. I'm not gonna say their name, but I don't remember even how I got this person's contact information. This is 4 years ago, but I was just, let me know if any tickets become available. Blah 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 blah. And I think I gave her my phone number, and we kind of kept in touch, and then she basically called me last minute and said there's a ticket available if you want to go. And I was also trying to stay in touch with my friend who was interested, but things were last minute and up in the air with him too, if I recall. But anyway, so she finally called me and said there's a ticket available. Do I want it? And this is like, it's like an 8 o'clock show sharp. If it ended up being, I think. And this is like, after 7 p.m. and I don't live exactly around the corner. I didn't live exactly around the corner from the venue at the time. So I'm like, yeah, I'm in. So I rush to the venue. I'm driving, probably speeding and swerving and driving recklessly. I apologize to whoever was on the road then. I really don't know for sure. Maybe I was doing good. Maybe I was doing smooth, and I was just driving maybe with urgency. How about that? So I was driving with urgency, and I finally make it to the venue. It's like on I forget exactly where it is, but it's in Beverly Hills, West Hollywood area, something like that. And I'm looking for parking, and parking in LA is a pain in the ass, I must say. The signs are confusing. It's fucking dark. You can't even see what color the curb is. Red curb you can't park at. Who knows what green, yellow, blue, white. I don't even know. Honestly, I forget what all these things are. I'm asking people around me usually what if I can park here. Strangers walking by. But the point is, I was arrived. I did arrive before 8 p.m., but I didn't know exactly where to park. So I'm looking for where can I leave my car for a few hours and park it. And finally, I find somewhere, and I am running up to the venue. I'm rushing. I'm speeding along. I'm running because I'm late, and I don't want to miss anything. I'm a crazy fan, and this is really the only time I ever really run is if I'm late for something. Anyway, the point is that I was late, or I was afraid I was going to be late. So I go inside. I find whoever I was supposed to connect with. I don't think it was the person who I was emailing with and corresponding with before the show, but it was someone else who I was referred to. And they said, oh, yeah, we have your ticket here. And I think they handed me my ticket and said, right this way, let me show you where to go. And we're walking. It's a very small theater. It was like the Grammy Annenberg something or other at the something. Let me see what this was. Let me pull this up. It was at the Wallace Annenberg Center for the Performing Arts in Beverly Hills. That was the name of the venue. All these the show had a long name and the venue has a long name, and that's all my point. So I'm the BB King tribute show at the Grammy Museum as well. I mean, basically what I'm calling it. It's not the Grammy Museum, Annenberg Center for the Performing Arts. Okay, whatever. The point is that this woman was leading me down in this small venue to the very front row, and I was like, "Whoa, is this really where?" She's like, "Oh, right this way," and I'm like, "What? Right here?" So I was in the front row, and I'm like, I forget which is stage left, stage right, or whatever, but I'm mirroring what is the right side of the stage. If I'm facing the stage, it's basically Derek's side, or no. Well, it was where the horn side would be on TTB's side. Let's say that I was facing what would have been that side. But why I said Derek's side is because, as soon as I had basically sat down in my seat or was about to, Derek, Susan come out, a bunch of other musicians. I think Joe Bonamassa came out immediately, and a bunch of other people, and they were all jamming on The Thrill Is Gone, and it was crazy because it was just like as soon as I arrived, they had walked out. There was no moment of anticipation. It was all like very just continuous or whatever. Anyway, so what I'm going to do next is read an article. It's also not a super duper long article about the event, sort of a recap. It was from the website rockandbluesmuse.com. I just kind of was looking up information about this show, and this article popped up. So I'm going to read it. And the article is written by Martine Ehrenclau. I'm probably saying that name wrong, but this is from rockandbluesmuse.com by Martine Ehrenclau. Okay. Talk about lightning in a bottle. Some of the best guitarists and vocalists performed for the life and legacy of B.B. King, a live tribute concert to honor the legacy of the 15-time Grammy winner. Put on by the Grammy Foundation and Grammy Museum on September 1st, 2016 at the Wallace Annenberg Center for the Performing Arts in Beverly Hills, the concert featured outstanding performances by Grammy nominees and winners influenced by the King of the Blues. This concert was proof that an all-star cast like this can knock your socks off if produced correctly, which it was. The lineup went like this: Keb Mo, Joe Bonamassa, Susan Tedeschi, Derek Trucks, Slash, Kenny Wayne Shepherd, Jimmy Vaughn, and others. Jimmy Vivino, music director of the Conan TV show, joined by the Basic Cable Man, directed that night. Let's start with one of the big performances of the evening. All the featured musicians and vocalists opened the show with B.B. King's renowned The Thrill Is Gone. Susan Tedeschi's knockout vocals on the song were rich and textured. Even though I'm a big fan of Tedeschi, I hadn't heard her sing like she did that night. It was as if she were singing with her band, her Telecaster in hand, in a smoky roadhouse bar in downtown Texas. Accompanying her with rhythm and some pretty amazing guitar solos was her husband, Derek Trucks. Trucks is a great guitar player, but until this concert, I didn't know just how good. I don't know how that's possible. Anyway, that's not in the article, of course. Joe Bonamassa, whose technical prowess as a guitarist is matched by few, followed with impressive riffs and solos. Keb Mo followed with some tasty licks and amped blues vocals. It was hard to pick a standout for the night with such an impressive list of musicians. You've seen televised tributes and shows that feature kick-ass singers and musicians. I'm usually a bit disappointed with those shows because of the sound problems that interfere with the performances. But at this concert, the sound was seamless, and the orchestration of the show close of the show to the close was perfection. For B.B. King's You've Done Lost Your Good Thing Now, Kenny Wayne Shepherd performed a body-rattling guitar solo. A Stevie Ray Vaughan disciple, Shepherd took the night by storm. Susan Tedeschi sang in a similar all-out fashion on How Blue Can You Get, something I'd not seen her do before that night. Her performance drove me to search for a possible new album. Tedeschi Trucks Band has a new album released earlier this year. Slash executed an awesome call and answer with Jimmy Vivino on guitar. Inspired, yes, But when has Slash never been inspired? He's an impressive rock guitarist known for his agility on the fretboard and his ease with wicked fast solos. To say this was a special concert was an understatement. It was thrilling to see so many talented artists perform all on one stage, honoring music from the blues master himself. I was grateful to be there up close and personal, so to speak. The Annenberg is a small theater, and there wasn't a bad seat in the house. Um, that's pretty much the article right there. Yeah, that was an amazing show, and it was a small theater, and yeah, I couldn't believe that I was in the front row to see all that. Um, just a couple of more notes from my end of the show. I was facing sort of Derek and Slash on that side, so that was awesome to see. Because also Slash is one of my favorite guitar players of all time, and I'm a huge Guns N' Roses fan. So it was awesome to see Derek and Slash together, like right in front of me. They're pretty much my like 1 and 2. It's like crazy, but favorites. But it's hard to say favorites. But anyway, the point is that it was great to see those guys. But not only could I see them, and with Susan sort of in the middle as well, right there in front of me, I could hear all of them like better. Not better, but like. Just because I guess they were on the side, their guitars seemed amplified to me, so I could hear them, playing even when they were not doing solos. I could really hear Slash and Derek, their rhythms when other guitar players were, doing their thing. But another person who was there who was awesome was Quinn Sullivan, the young dude, who's awesome singer and guitar player as well. It was awesome to see him. The grand finale was When Love Comes to Town, U2 song that they did with B.B. King. That was awesome. And there's a moment I think before that, which I guess was the grand finale, where the host of the show is like, "All right, let's get everyone back on stage. What guitar players are still want to play?" And I sort of like raised my hand as an amateur faker, faux guitar player from the audience, and Derek saw me and sort of nodded and laughed, and that was somewhere on the top moments of my life on a list somewhere. That will probably make that list if we're being honest, but. Anyway, the show itself, there was a YouTube channel that had a bunch of videos from the show up. Shortly thereafter, it happened, but I think a lot of those got taken down, or forced to be taken down because the Grammys owns the the rights to the footage and all that, and they shot their own pro shot. Footage, I believe, that night and audio and have all that. But I don't know if they've released everything. They released, I think, The Thrill Is Gone and maybe some other stuff. I'm not currently sure what's out there, but I urge that YouTube channel and the Grammys to put out that whole show on YouTube if you can. Give me some audio. How about that? But One Anitra's Dance was the YouTube channel, the number one. ANITRAS, and then the word dance, DANCE. The reason, I'm also giving them a little shout out because it was awesome just to see all those videos for the time that they were up. I should have downloaded them. You didn't hear that, but yeah, no, it was awesome to see all those videos, and that's a cool channel anyway. That user has a lot of not only subscribers, but great live concert footage as well. So let them put their stuff, the B.B. King tribute show back up, or Grammys, you put it out, or I gotta hunt down some audio or something for that show because it was just awesome. Yeah, I think that's about all I got to say about that show. I was just totally grateful to be there. And it was just memorable and it was cool to see Derek and Susan sort of outside a TTB show. That was fun as well. yeah, I think that's about all I got for for this week. Hope everyone is hanging in there out there. I appreciate the support for sure. This podcast has been a journey already. I feel like I've just barely scratched the surface, but I've already experienced so many amazing things just with the conversations with the people I have I've had already. With the guests I've had already have been amazing, and it's just been fun to talk music and talk TTB with people connected to the band and to the music, and just in one form or another, directly, indirectly, fans, musicians themselves, other types of artists. It's been cool. But for more, check out Tedeschi Trucks Podcast on Instagram. That's at Tedeschi Trucks Podcast. And of course, remember to tap subscribe or follow on iTunes, Spotify, or whichever way you listen to this show. Again, positive reviews on iTunes are greatly appreciated. But yeah, I think that's about all I got for today. And again, thanks for listening. I appreciate it for sure. Later.